Alright, hello and welcome back to another housing video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. This time we're looking at 4 items in total, 2 of which are the Phasmascapes, if you've ever heard of those, and also 2 new partitions. The reason we're putting them all into one video is because they kind of work together, or they're intended to be part of the same thing, or at least accompany each other, if you prefer. So the first thing to note then is that we've got the windowed partition and the Hingan windowed partition. These are the 2 new partitions added in patch 5.5, and as you can see, these are carpenter recipes. Basic level 80, you don't need any specialization or anything like that. An 1866 recommendation of craftsmanship, no required or anything like that. You'll see that they're pretty much similar. They both use 6 lignum vitae lumber. The windowed one needs 4 dwarven cotton and 3 crystal glass, which isn't that hard to get a hold of. And the Hingan one requires those 6 lignum vitae, 6 beech logs, and 3 mortar to craft. So that's how you actually craft those. So these are the first things I want to show you. So let's have a look at those as we put those down. So then, these are the partitions. This is the Hingan one. These are quite large items, as you can clearly see. Let's put snap to grid on so it actually looks half decent. I was going to say, there we go. So as you look, it goes to the full height of the house. I tried this in the large house as well. Same sort of situation, basically. And they create a background. Obviously, they provide transparency because there is literally a cutout in the actual item. They are reversible, as you can see, and you can't close the actual shutter on these. These are then designed specifically to create the idea of something beyond. This is something that people have been doing with housing glitches for the longest time. If you know anything about housing, they've created windows into gardens. You know, it gives that sort of 3D aspect and makes your housing actually feel a bit bigger, or at least access to the outside, because obviously conventionally you have windows like this that you can't physically do anything with. It's just design, it's part of the built-in. So yes, it lets light in, but you can't see out of it, whereas this is going to give you a good bit of creativity. So that's the first one, and the other partition is the windowed partition here. So this one again is an indoors item. And as you can see, we've got marble tops here and a very basic sort of plaster color. These are dyeable. We'll have a look at that in just a few. Don't worry about that. It comes with curtains, this one, as you can clearly see. And once again, these are reversible. However, if you do reverse them, you're not going to get the bay window effect. See, look, they're adding 3 dimensions to this by adding that bay effect. But if we rotate this round, then you'll see that it loses that bay effect, which might be something you're looking for. However, why would you want the curtains to look like they're on the other side is a question, maybe. Actually, if you're creating a little house within a house, I've seen people do that. They've created stalls and little shops. This could work, actually. You could put this in here and create the idea that your large house is actually many small houses back to back. This could be kind of cool. That's what that looks like. So before we get to the dye options on those, let's look at the other 2 items in this then. Firstly, we've got the Azim Steppe Phasmascape. Now this is something that you can get from the housing merchant for 10,000 gil, okay? So don't go and spend exorbitant amounts of money on the market board for this particular Phasmascape, okay? If you wondered what this looks like, essentially this is designed to look like a television or an animated type of screen. So as you can see here, this is what it looks like when you plop it down, and you've got this wonderful Azim Steppe background, which, as you already know, is my favorite location. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, that's really cool. Look, it's got cloud effects on it and such. Go behind it, it doesn't have that. So it's a one-sided item, unless you want a TV-shaped wall, I guess. This is a huge screen now. Imagine if this was an actual telly. What would this be? Like 92 inch or something? 80 inch? I have no idea. It's enormous. Of course, you can't interact with this in any way. You can't change the picture. So what you see is what you get. They do say that they want to add more like this in the future with more backgrounds. And some of them might even be further animated. I think this is a fantastic idea, personally. I do love these. So the reason then that we were looking at the partitions, as you can clearly see. If I place the Hingan one in front of this, I can take a snapshot of a part of that. Say, for instance, I want it to look like my house is actually situated next to the Dawn Throne, right? From certain angles. If we messed around with elevation and stuff, then you would see, as you move around, this has quite a good effect, doesn't it? There you go. If we move left to right, it kind of looks like we're looking out onto the Dawn Throne. It's a bit budget, but it's really cool. And from a distance, this looks really cool, doesn't it? Really good, in fact. So a bit of messing around, more than I have in this last 30 seconds, and you've got yourself a window, haven't you? A working window that looks like it's looking out potentially to the Azim Steppe. Now we do have these lines down it, which are deliberate to give it the impression of a screen, but there we go. So the other one then, the other Phasmascape in this, these are not dyeable, by the way, the Phasmascapes. You can't dye this wood, unfortunately. The other one we have here in 5.5 is the Blue Moon Phasmascape. This is actually a brand new drop from Tsukiyomi on extreme difficulty. So if you want to go and make some gil at the moment, this might be a good choice, because this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. That's so nice. So this is supposed to be the Tsukiyomi moon. We've got some clouds going across here, as well as clouds in the background. Got this sort of, moon thing going on here. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? And it looks even better like this. Look at that. Now we have the moon outside of our house. If we had properly decorated and sorted this out, and if it was far enough away, you could believe that, couldn't you? You could physically believe that that was actually, the real moon outside. Whilst we're here then, let's look at the furnishing colour. I did say we would look at these just very briefly. So let's whack that on. As you can see, the plaster itself dyes. The wood doesn't dye on this windowed partition. So if that's something you want to factor in. The curtains also dye the same as the wall. And you keep this marble effect around the outside. But the wood does not change. Not sure why you would have bright cherry pink walls, but there we go. Each to their own. Yeah, this is really quite cool, isn't it? I'd probably go for... I don't know. I'm not sure what I would go for. Probably white. I'm very boring like that. The pink kind of looks okay. Maybe a blue would look good. I thought that might look good because of the moon, but... don't know, really. Don't know. It's going to be... You're better at colour choices than me. But I think that's quite a nice item. Paired together. Obviously, you could do whatever you like with these individual items, but I thought it was a good demonstration of what they thought about, at least. Let's just place this one back for a sec, and we'll pop this one back out again, and then we'll show what this looks like with dye options, finishing colour. There we go. So once again, it's the plaster that changes and not the wood. That's the one we've already looked at. What am I doing? I'm a sausage. You're like, Meoni, what are you doing? I don't know. There you go. That's what I was... That's the one I was trying to get out. I am right, though. It's the plaster that changes, look, and not the actual wood. That's what we were going for. Although this one does have this sort of like metallic sort of effect going on it. This sort of stippled... I don't know, is that just the Hingan way? Is that a kind of plaster that I'm not familiar with? Personally, I think that looks amazing. Look at that Dalamud red. It reminds me, admittedly, of restaurants I've seen where they have the big red screens and stuff. A lot of the local Chinese restaurants have those. They're absolutely gorgeous, aren't they? I'm not sure about pink. That does kind of work in a weird way, though, doesn't it? That's strange. It has this sort of sheen to it. I really like this texture, whatever texture this is. Please use more of it. It kind of gives me that sort of aluminium sort of appearance to it. All of the colours that I usually wouldn't choose look great on it, look. Look at that. These look really good. I bet you that this would look really good with the Tsukiyomi one behind it, actually. Give me a second. Boop, 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 boop. Yep. Boop, boop. With the moon. And then finishing colour. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, that looks really nice. Really nice. Bit of Dalamud, maybe. Don't know. Yeah. But yeah, colours that I usually wouldn't choose look pretty good on this, don't they? I quite like the green, actually. The green works quite well with the moon, but not going to beat a blue, are you? Wow. What a versatile piece of housing. Absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I'm tinkering around here, but yeah, what do you guys think about this? I think that this is a really cool idea for the next sort of set of housing things that we could be seeing in the future, especially these screens as well. They're absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. I think that they have a lot of potential. It would be nice to have some, like, other places, like, I don't know, Coil of Bahamut or something, or dungeon places, you know. I'd like to look out my window onto the burn, perhaps. But yeah, that's what they look like side by side there. So this is, as I said, the Azim Steppe Phasmascape, which is from the Housing Merchant over here, which is for 10,000 gil. And then we've also got this, which is crafted with Carpenter, very basically. And then over here, another Carpenter recipe covering the Tsukiyomi Extreme drop, which is the Blue Moon Phasmascape, if you're curious. I think that these items are wonderful, and I can't wait to see what they add into the future, because honestly, we need more stuff like this. I'm hoping that one day they have like an animated scroll thing, where it just scrolls through all of the different housing items, all of the different housing backdrops. It would be cool to have like an animated moving background, especially if we're going for like the TV sort of aesthetic. But yeah, much love, and I'll see you all next time. Be sure to check me out on twitch.tv/Meoni 4 days a week, and to check out the rest of the YouTube channel for more wonderful 5.4 coverage and beyond. Bye-bye.